Hello guys! Since many years we are now using Flatpak and the Flathub. This is the repository behind Flatpak, and it has grown very much over the last 5 to 10 years, which is great. But how good is Flatpak really? Which are the disadvantages, and should we all use fewer Flatpaks? And also, what about App Image and Snapcraft? Welcome to Linuxort, your platform for Linux and free software, and I would say let's start with our topic. Yeah, if we go to the Flathub, we see many applications there. I guess there are about 2,000 or 3,000 now. If we go to the statistics, we see 2,600, and the most downloads come from USA and Germany, maybe also Brazil. This is very cool. And if we see the statistics to downloads over time, we see it's heading up, and from year to year there are more users within our Flatpak domain, which is very cool. So yeah, just have a look to the statistics site. I would say, yeah, they made it really cool. And yeah, Flatpak is a very cool technology. You can very easily download, for example, Microsoft Edge, Brave browser, Postman, even every Linux app which the Linux world has to offer, because it's very easy for all Linux users, and Flatpaks are integrated into many distributions, for example, into Linux Mint, Pop! OS, Manjaro, Fedora, for example, and many more. And this makes it so popular, because if you build one Flatpak, you can almost run it everywhere on every Linux distribution. This is, I would say, the killer feature of Flatpak. But there are also many downsides for Flatpak. For example, if we head over to the disk space. I'm using in disk space size about 3.4 gigabytes for how many Flatpaks? Just take a guess into the comments. And yeah, I'm using about 3 Flatpaks: Flatseal, Linux Assistant, and Master PDF Editor. I chose them randomly, but we have many dependencies which were installed, about 4 Mesa libraries, OpenH264, the GNOME application platform, the KDE application platform, and also the free desktop platform. This is quite much for only 3 Flatpaks in here. And if you sum up all dependencies you would use, if you would install all these applications without any Flatpak, then I would guess you would need about maybe 300 megabytes, not more. And here we are now using more than 3 gigabytes, which is too much in my opinion. It's just ridiculous if you think about when you download these applications, you will also download about multiple gigabytes. This is just an extensive resource usage. We should spend it like this. Yeah, we have many resources on our computers nowadays, but this is quite a lot. Also, if you, example, look for Blender, Blender has many plugins which you can integrate, but if you downloaded and installed the Blender Flatpak, then, for example, with Make Human and many other Blender plugins, you can't integrate them really well into the Blender version of Flathub. So if you have a standalone app, Flatpak is great, but if you have an app which also can integrate with many other applications and which acts like a base for many other tools, then Flatpak is also not the right choice as a distribution format. Also, there's another point of Flatpak where we see, yeah, it doesn't really integrate well into our system. Yeah, of course, it's sandboxed. It's an important point of the concept. But for example, if we head over to MPV, then we have some man pages if we install it into our own system. But with the Flatpak, we don't have any MPV, for example. And if you don't know what the man pages are, you can type in man, and then, for example, you can look for the Mint Update CLI, where you can see, okay, how do some commands or libraries in Linux or Unix work. For example, I can call the man page for standard IO. This is a really cool documentation system, which is very old and very reliable, but Flatpak doesn't care about such system integrations, and also Flatpak is only for desktop applications. Did you ever try to start a Flatpak in your terminal? It's horrible. You have to type in Flatpak run and then your application name, for example, com.github flatseal, and then now you are running the app in a terminal. Otherwise, if you had it installed at your system, I think Flatseal would be enough. And yeah, this isn't only for Flatseal, this is for every application. For example, Linux Assistant does also have a very easy command to start from terminal, but this Linux Assistant is the installed one via the DEB package, because yeah, I installed both of them just for showcase. But yeah, Flatpak doesn't integrate well into the system, and I would say Snap is doing this a lot better. You can almost call every Snap like a normally installed application, and it also integrates very well with server technology and software. So from a technical perspective, I would say Snap is a lot more capable of many things and does integrate a bit better into the whole Linux system. But yeah, Snap has other problems, especially the Snap Store, which is canonical only. So only canonical can decide which app they are putting on and which not. And this is, of course, some problem. Also, the sandboxing of Flatpak is very cool at a first point, but if you're using a Flatpak, I guess you already had come to some issue where, for example, a file from your USB stick or from another partition is not found because Flatpak has some features which are not user-friendly at all. Yeah, they want to sandbox everything and they want to restrict the file access of a Flatpak application. Because of this, if we have a look, for example, to Flatseal, which is an permission editor for Flatpaks, I would say, if we have a look to Master PDF Editor, we don't have too many file system rights. So my guess, it won't work with a file from a USB stick you plug in. And this is the problem of many other applications of Flatpak. No one tells you that you have to enable this. For example, yeah, all system files, file system host, does it access to all? Then you can really select every file also of other file systems or partitions and also USB sticks and also remote file systems. So it's not quite user-friendly, I would say. Also, let's come to Flathub. Flathub is a great app store for Linux, I would say. They have over 2,600 applications at the time and it's growing a lot. But for me as a developer, it was pain to get into Flathub because there was very less documentation and it was quite unorganized. I published about 3 applications now in the Flathub, and with every application I had problems because of some very restrictive rights, some permissions which aren't allowed in Flathub, and also some conventions which weren't clear for me and are not very well documented. So the onboarding process for new developers is quite hard, and also some maintainers are very harsh. I can understand it because yeah, they are explaining many things again and again, but then develop a good onboarding process in which you will take the developers with you and save work for all of us. So I would say if Flathub wouldn't has so much publicity, I personally as a developer won't distribute my apps over the Flathub, and I also do not distribute every app I make on Flathub and Flatpak because at first it doesn't integrate very well into the system at many points. The process is very hard for all, so I only publish applications which should be reached by many people. I personally built a deb package in about, I would say, half an hour, and the process of building a Flatpak is between 3 to 6 hours, I would say. And the process to get on Flathub are also some hours over multiple days or weeks, which is very frustrating for developers. But yeah, Flathub is the greatest repository of Linux at all in terms of users across all distributions, I would say. So Flathub is a thing. And this is also, I would say, one risk we have in our Linux world. Which other Flatpaks repositories are you knowing? I just searched on Reddit. We have the Flathub nightly builds from GNOME and KDE, which aren't productive, I would say. And also, yeah, some distribution-based Flatpak repositories, which is Fedora, Elementary OS, and Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And this is it. I personally see the risk that Flathub gets too much power in the next years. So definitely some more competition would be great for the Flatpak universe. But yeah, of course, it isn't easy to create a second Flathub. But if you would ask me, I would definitely go for it. Just to do competition and to develop new concepts and technologies based on Flatpak and the Linux app universe. What would you say about it? I personally have some white paper of some similar, which could revolutionize the Linux app world. If you're interested in it, just write it me into the comments. I will do a video about this. So the question I ask for me, do we really need a Flatpak for everything? Do we really need a Flatpak for VLC, for Visual Studio Code, or for Blender? Because some apps, which are also maybe part of something bigger, are very hard to distribute via Flatpak, and they are eating a lot of system resources in download size, installation time, runtime, and disk space, of course. So what do I want to say in this video? If we have a new application in the Linux market, don't just throw Flatpak on it and let it grow. Yes, it works at many times, and also the distribution of a simple application via Flatpak is very huge and has much potential. But I would say we shouldn't get too dependent from Flatpak or a single technology or a single repository as a free software world. And at many times, the official way of some software developers are other installation methods, which I definitely would recommend more than just using Flatpaks for everything. So is Flatpak now good or bad? I would say some kind of both. Flatpak is a great technology which enables almost all Linux users to use a wide variety of Linux applications just with a single click, but it doesn't really integrate well into the system, for example, also with themes, with system calls, and with the interaction with other applications. This containerizing has some limits, and also at many points it's just more efficient and faster to use the traditional version of a package. I won't say that we really need a Firefox Flatpak or a Steam Flatpak, because they are already doing their things great and don't come with any improvements. But Flatpak is great if you have a big application with many dependencies, which is very hard to install on a traditional Linux distribution. Then Flatpak comes really into shine. And also, if you want to distribute your application very fast and very efficient, I personally would go every time, if I choose, do I install it as a Flatpak or at another method, I first have a look to the official site of the developer and go this way. They are recommending. In this case, Linux Assistant is recommending a deb package, for example, for Linux Mint. So I would use the deb package. Just a small hint, I am the developer of Linux Assistant, so this could be a bit biased. But also, for example, if we have a look to Blender, let's look how can we download and go with Blender. We see here download Blender and we get a tar.xz file. So in this case, I would personally go with the package of my distribution. And if this is too old, I would go with the official Blender version with the tar.xz file. Just extract it and I would say run it. This is how I would use Blender, and I would not choose Flathub because they aren't promoting Flathub. And you also see, yeah, Blender isn't official because they don't recommend it because of good reasons. And this is also with many other programs. But if you have a look, for example, to OBS Studio, then we see they are recommending the Flatpak over Flathub, or they are recommending the PPA for Ubuntu 22 or newer. So I would choose one of these reasons. So just have a look into your Flatpak list and think about it. Do I really need this as a Flatpak, or is it maybe easier and better for me to go with the traditional way? Because the traditional way is in many points really reliable. And if you do not have too many dependencies, which many apps don't have or are developed as good as they can also use multiple versions of a library, then definitely try out the traditional way. It will be good for all of us because Linux is very strong due to their variety, and at the current point we are heading a bit to a monopole with Flatpak and Flathub, which can't be good for all of us. So also, if we have a look to the newer image-based Linux distributions, like for example Fedora Silverblue or Ubuntu will also come with an image-based system, I would say, because some applications can't be containerized really good because they are relying on many things. In our desktop world, I would say Fedora Silverblue or OpenSUSE, Aeon or MicroOS are very cool concepts, but because some software distributors don't recommend Flatpak or aren't using Flatpak also in the next years, you will always have some applications which aren't working with Fedora Silverblue and these image-based systems. So I would say it's quite a cool technology, but my call is that yeah, Flatpak expands the usage of your Linux distribution, but to only set complete to Flatpak is just a very high restriction which doesn't make sense in any point, because these image-based systems aren't solving any big issue we have in Linux desktop world, because yeah, my Linux Mint or Pop OS or Ubuntu is also very reliable and also very stable. So many users don't have an upgrade with the container-based systems at the time. They only have some more issues to get some applications running, especially with drivers. This is also very funny or not so funny for image-based systems. So they are a very cool idea, but I would say they won't get the new standard for the Linux distributions in the next 10 years. Maybe Ubuntu is doing its own thing with Snap and image-based, because they also containerized, for example, CUPS, the printing system of Linux, and many other technologies and software libraries. I would say because Snap does integrate better with the existing environment, and Snap-only Ubuntu would be more realistic and, in my opinion, also more useful from a viewpoint of technology as, for example, Fedora Silverblue or OpenSUSE Aeon. Also, AppImage is quite a cool technology. It expands our use cases with Linux, but also there I would say don't just throw app images everywhere. Use them if the developers do recommend it. For example, with Kdenlive Live, I'm always cutting videos in Kdenlive Live with an app image because it's very stable and it just works. But I would say all these technologies are very complementary, and the old package managers like apt, pacman, and for example Zipper, I will guess, are getting a revival, because sometimes the basics are still good and better than the new alternatives. Just sometimes. So yeah, what's your opinion about this topic? What's your favorite technology? Which risks and advantages do you see with, for example, Flatpak and Flathub? Just write it me into the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye!